Let's start to conclude this entire lesson by ending where we began. If you happen to remember earlier, we mentioned that there are a whole bunch of ways to create pivot tables and various schools of thought to back up the preferred method. So one method to create your pivot table is to click inside your list, then go up and click where it says Insert and choose Pivot Table, and that method is perfectly valid. Another school of thought says you should use the recommended pivot table. That's valid as well. And then another school of thought says that you should create a table first. So it goes something like this. You click in your list, then click Insert Table, click OK, and then once you create the table, you then click the button where it says Summarize with Pivot Table. Some people like this method, some people do not. Each of the three methods we covered have their own pros and cons. That said, you probably have to give the slight edge to creating a table first, then building a pivot table. People say why? It's simply the adaptability. When you add in new data to the table, it will reflect on the pivot table when you refresh the data. Bottom line, it just creates more convenience in the long run. Just some real quick closing thoughts as we wrap up this lesson. Yes, I will fully agree. This was literally a crash course on how to build pivot tables. It was incredibly high level and incredibly superficial. The goal with this session was just to build a foundational understanding of what a pivot table is. That said, and please pardon the cheap plug, we're going to be offering a free course that does a deep dive into pivot tables. It's going to be over 2 hours long and will cover a whole host of topics. So please feel free to stay tuned for that. Else, we will see you in the next lesson.